Hey there, everyone. Happy Monday. I have been giving you guys the climate change lessons, and this is the last week of our lessons. We're going to wrap up this unit and um, move into the end of the year activities. So I'm excited about that. But I'm also excited to kind of wrap up a unit. So for today's lesson, we are going to be looking at Indiana's climate throughout the ages. And so I will be giving us a simple little lesson. You guys can just kind of sit around and kind of listen. And if something sparks your interest or you find really cool, I would love you to further your research and let me know where it takes you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera around. So let me flip that guy here. All right, so Indiana's climate throughout the ages. And here we go. So, during the Little Ice Age, the Earth's temperatures began to cool dramatically. In many years, snowfalls were much heavier than previous years. The snow stayed on the ground for longer periods. It was so cold that at one point, the ice stayed on the lakes until the 1st of June. And I don't know about you guys, if you paid attention to how long the waters stay frozen. I would say February is when not many people are ice fishing because the weather is just different. It's unpredictable. The ground's getting warmer by the sun. And so the fact that the lakes would still have ice on them in June, that is huge. That's pretty interesting. Okay, move on. So about 20,000, that's what it says, folks, 20,000 years ago, much of Indiana was covered in a glacial ice sheet, hundreds of meters thick. Not inches, folks, meters. Over a period of 4,000 years, it became gradually warmer. So what that's trying to say is for a very long period of time, Indiana was just very cold. It was very, very, very cold. And just pretty much ice. Okay, so during the medieval, 1,000 years ago, it was much warmer. So this is kind of cool. Okay, so 1,000 years ago, it says it was much, much warmer. Temperatures during this period were even warmer than today. And the reason why they say that is because during this time, it was a worldwide drought, world spread drought. And so all over North America. And so really, really dry at that time. Temperatures were really up, and that was only 1,000 years ago. So that's interesting. So super, super cold. All the way to being really, really warm. So let's read what this guy says. And then about 200 years ago, the temperatures began to rise slightly. So it was really hot, and then it got back down, right? And then about 200 years ago, we saw the trend going back up. It became somewhat stable in the mid-1800s. And then around 1940, it became slightly cooler. So that's pretty cool. And so it stayed pretty stable, and then it got colder in the 1940s. So it would be really cool to figure out what happened in the 1940s and why would the temperature get colder in the 1940s. Wonder what happened. That would be really cool to kind of dive in and see what happened in the 1940s in Indiana and why the temperature was going down. And then it became slightly cooler in the 1970s. And then it became increasingly ever since. And so it got colder in the 1970s. And, think about it. The 1960s and 70s, a lot of movements were happening in the world. A lot of people were trying to better the world, trying to better their planet, try to do less pollution. And so, that affected, right? And then ever since the 70s, right, has gotten a little bit stronger. So that's that time. I'm going to flip this around. So that is that timeline of kind of what's been going on in Indiana. All right. So as you can tell, it's not a consistent curve up. It's not a consistent curve down. It's not a plateau. It's like it goes up and down. And so sometimes just depending on what's going on in the world. And so I encourage you guys, why did it get colder in the 1940s? And why did it get colder in the 1960s to 70s, but then increasingly got warm? What's happening? What was going on? Environmentally, socially, politically, what was going on, right? All right. Well, that is actually all I have for you guys today. I'm really excited to see where your research takes you. And if you guys find anything else new that intrigues you and gives you more insight on why the world was acting and responding to the way that it was. Very cool. Hope you guys have a great Monday, and I will be back on Tuesday. Bye for now, friends.